This is Alexander Playtime Williams of PlaytimeCares.com. What's up, world? This is Alexander Playtime Williams of PlaytimeCares.com, and this is your SmackDown recap. April 2nd, 2015. This SmackDown came from Fresno, California. They call that the Save Mart Center. And you had Jerry the King Lawler, Byron Saxton, and Tom Phillips as commentators. Of course, they started off the show with the thing everybody was talking about for the whole week for wrestling, and that's Brock Lesnar, F5 destruction on Raw. They just had to recap that because, that was just probably the best thing that happened in wrestling in a long time. This show is actually pretty decent. Of course, if you show Brock Lesnar, then you have to show why he went berserk, which they did show that. So the person that caused him to go berserk was Seth Rollins. So of course, Seth Rollins, Big Show, Kane, J&J Security, they came out to the stage just smattering the booze, and of course, started all of the cool things. You know, but before they got an opportunity to talk, they gave a medical update on all of the people that was kind of hurt on the thing. Check WWE.com for the medical updates. Um, Rollins says that it was his plan all along. This is a good thing when all your plans they just come together like that, and that now that he actually won the title, he's actually cemented the fact that he's the face of the company. He's the future. So, of course, that inspired somebody that whooped him in WrestleMania 31 to step out. Randy Orton, his music hit, crowd goes crazy. Randy Orton pretty much said that he never got a WrestleMania rematch from the previous WrestleMania, WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans. So he was saying, hey, I want it. That caused the crowd to pretty much go into the RKO chants. RKO, RKO. They was going crazy. They really liked that dude. So RKO congratulated the Big Show on winning the, Andre the Giant Memorial over the top battle royal match. And then he pretty much slammed Kane, saying that, he was a big red machine, but now he just Little Red Riding Hood. So Kane told him, look, I'm the director of operations around these parts. And if you want that title match, you need to be able to beat the Big Show tonight to actually get just for me to consider you to get an opportunity to face Seth Rollins for that title match. And you know what? That match next. So of course, Big Show already in the ring. Randy Orton in the ring. Hey, let's get it on. Boom, boom, boom. It's pretty good energy, pretty decent pace. They're not really that stiff from WrestleMania. And RKO was, Randy Orton, he's starting to get the best of the Big Show. So Kane and J&J Security just went in there and just started stomping them. And, Seth Rollins went in there, but of course, Randy Orton tried to, just beat him. So that, Kane and all the rest of them ended up beating him down. Kane put that choke slam on him. Then you heard, feed me more. Crowd erupts again. You got Ryback making a beeline to the ring. And long story short, Ryback ended up cleaning the ring out with everybody. They end up doing a shell shot, doing the RKO on everybody that's in there. And that was pretty much it. Of course, Rollins, he didn't want no part of it, so he went and camped in the back. He went and chilled on the ramp and just held up his belt like, what's happening? You beating him up, but I'm still a champ. So then that match wasn't that bad. I get to about a 7 out of 10. Just keeping consistent with what I done. Then they show Sheamus's return on Raw, anticipated return, and if you missed it, he turned into a villain. He became a heel, and he attacked everybody. Tagged Dolph Ziggler, he attacked Daniel Bryan, ran Bad News Barrett out the ring. So next match was probably one of the better matches of actual SmackDown. That was Naomi versus Natalya. I've been asking for that match, so I'm glad that they actually done it. Bella Twins was on commentary. They the best they're the most athletic. They're the best divas that they have. So that match was actually really good. And let's see, they actually allowed Naomi to talk before the match, and she said, "Look, I've been the Divas champion. I can be the Divas champion. I've never been, but I bet you that wasn't no fluke." I said, "Then I've been there, and I can be the Divas champ." So they both put on a real good match, show their real athleticism, show how good they can actually operate inside the ring, how well they can be in sync. And long story short, that was an 8 out of 10 match, and Naomi actually got a pretty impressive win. So then they did a cutaway of Rollins going to Kane, and Kane kind of rubbing his face because he got RKO'd and he doing all of that type of stuff. He's stiff, and Rollins like, "Hey, I'm sorry that happened to you. Can you believe the nerve of this guy that won the championship match? Yada yada yada." And Kane was like, "Look, you know what? Our next pay-per-view is Extreme Rules. That actually be a pretty decent match. I'm considering to do it. I'm considering doing it." So Rollins discussed about that. Then they hear the toilet flush. No, before that, Rollins actually said he actually led up to it. He said, "Oh man, it stinks." And Kane was like, "What? You afraid you can't beat RKO?" He was like, "No, I mean literally it stinks." Then you heard the toilet flush. And then Dean Ambrose come out there and everybody, laughing. He's like, "Oh, he got a newspaper in his hand. Oh man, y'all got like 6-ply toilet paper. It smell good in there. Y'all got the good hand soap and the lotions." And Kane was like, "You use my executive toilet? All right. Well, you got a match with Luke Harper." So Dean Ambrose was like, "Hey, whatever, cool. Put me in a match. I mean, whatever. I know you put me through a ladder for WrestleMania 31, but hey, whatever." So, of course, Roman Reigns isn't out the mix. So they had an interview with him and Byron Saxton. And Reigns pretty much gave Brock Lesnar's props. But then he went on to say that Brock wasn't really ready for his counter maneuvers, that, Brock could knock him out. Saying that, it was cool and it was smart for Rollins to cashing in his money in the bank when he did it, and that he still want to be the champ, but he can beat Lesnar, and I think he actually proved that he could beat Lesnar. But he said he already beat Rollins and he will beat him again. So the crowd was kind of behind that statement because they kind of hate Rollins right now, which makes him a really good heel. So the next match was The Miz versus R-Truth. Um, Sadly to say, I like R-Truth, but I mean, the Miz kind of, I mean, getting kind of predictable with his matches. That match was only about a 6 out of 10, really. Crowd started off with the "We Want Miz" style chants. Really good booing the Miz. Miz do an excellent job of antagonizing the crowd. Um, and it ended up Miz doing some weak sneaky move to actually win the match. They could have written that in better. They could have ended that a lot better. And of course, while the Miz is celebrating, Mizdow attacks him in the ring and do the skull crushing finale on the Miz, and the crowd go crazy. And then the Mizdow, he go ahead and work the crowd really well, have him up in a frenzy. And the next match was Cena. He he heads to the ring, and of course, he always have mixed crowd reaction. It's cool. I mean, you expect that from Cena. He give Rusev props for being a good competitor, saying that he loved Russia, just don't like Rusev. Then he always Cena trying to sell himself, so he tried to do the patriotic vibe. He's still getting booed. I mean, Cena horrible. And he announced that he's a fighting champion. He's going to give an open challenge every week. And Rusev music hit. Boom. Rusev Atlanta, they interrupt. And, USA chants, they just like booming. I mean, you really didn't have time to really talk. I'm sure they edited out most of the USA chants because they did it for a long time. Rusev started saying that he didn't lose at WrestleMania 31, and say that, that not only is that title his title, but the world is his world. Rusev is the Russian tank, and nobody can beat him, and stuff like that. So he pretty much challenged Cena to a rematch at Extreme Rules. And then Rusev said afterwards he gonna have his flag and he gonna sit there and just wave it. You know how Rusev like to sit there and get into it, waving his flag back and forth. You know, he's like doing the snake with it. And then he said, and also, and he pointing up, pointing up where his flag, usually the Russian flag, shoot down. We gonna do this. We gonna do this. Then Cena was like, oh, you meant this? Boom, gold, glory, stars and stripes, shoot down everybody in that crowd, USA. And Cena start off singing the Star Spangled Banner, and then, he just kind of freestyled it from there. And then they cut away to Sheamus actually, again, what he did on Raw and how he became a heel. And he just simply said, I'm back. And then it was the Dean Ambrose versus Luke Harper match. And that was actually a decent match. I said about a 7 out of 10. It was medium pace. Um, Action kind of spilled out to the outside of the ring, and that's when it really got interesting. And Dean Ambrose, long story short, ended up getting powerbombed through the commentator's table and having to get escorted out. And like I said, that was a decent match. Primetime players, they did a cutaway to them where they start saying how much the New Day sucks. They kind of treaded a kind of a fine line of, racism and, the kind of, WWE writers watch that, don't start making comments about bad hair and stuff. Don't allow that. That's poor taste. I mean, I know it's black, black. No, there's a black guy. Let me tell you, that's poor taste. Don't do that. Don't go down that road that y'all did with the Triple H Booker T storyline. And, let's not go back too many phases. Don't do the black on black action. Now, if you want to join them up and start like Ron Simmons and them did back in the day, and start a new faction where they all, just heels, then that's cool. But don't no, let's not go with if it ain't nappy, if it's nappy, we ain't happy and all that type of stuff. Don't do it. That's bad. Um, but this is a possibility. They're all very athletic. The primetime player and the New Day, they all have real good athletic ability. So they have the potential to be a decent rivalry if you throw them in the title hunt as well. Don't have us fighting have the blacks fighting each other and they have the title hunt. Then, it's just real bad. That's my 2 cents, though. And let's see, from there, Sheamus hit the ring and told people why it was that he decided to do what he did to Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan. Pretty much said that they're little guys and he can do it. So he wanted real men to have the belt. And so that started the match. And that started the match between Sheamus and Daniel Bryan. And, Bad News Barrett was on commentary. And that was a decent match. I'd say about an 8 out of 10. Kind of predictable. Not gonna lie, the match was kind of predictable. Of course, Sheamus, because he just came back, he's a heel now. He's dominating Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan pretty much turned the tides, and then he started fighting well. And you knew somehow he's gonna get screwed out of the match once he hit the floor. Once the action spilled outside the ring, with Bad News Barrett being on commentary, of course, Bad News Barrett hit him with the bull hammer, shagada. Daniel Bryan out. So Sheamus wins by count. So all in all, pretty decent SmackDown. Kind of predictable at parts, but pretty decent matches overall. Glad to see Naomi and Natalya actually getting some camera time. The only way you should hashtag give Divas a chance is if they're giving Naomi and Natalya a chance at that title. Otherwise, all the other people are just eye candy. I want eye candy plus in-ring ability and mic skills. So, hey, this is Playtime. Please be on Playtime Cares. Let me know what you think of my commentary. It's all good in the hood. Do y'all. Love y'all. Thank you for the comments. Keep watching. Keep letting me know what you want to see on playtimecares.com.